Looks like you could use a cupcake.
Art 101 with Mr. Burgher.
Scholars, Mr. Burgher here. Professional artist and master educator attempting to provide you with the best in art historical content. I'm here at the Des Moines Art Center. I want to talk to you a little bit about a specific piece of work right inside these walls, a work by Edward Hopper. And let's jump on in here and take a look at Automat.
Edward Hopper is an American realist, painter and printmaker that would create the work that we're discussing today, Automat, in 1927. This work was first put on display on Valentine's Day of 27 at his second solo show in New York City. By April of that year, it had been sold to the Des Moines Art Center for $2,100. Side note, what the heck is an automat? Well, an automat is a restaurant where simple foods and drinks are served by self-service type vending machines. They began in Europe and were quite prominent in the eastern coast of the United States, first becoming popular in Pennsylvania and then New York City. The kitchen area is behind these vending windows where servers would replenish the food as diners bought the food out of the compartments where they would purchase the food using coins or tokens. Diners could sit where they want, but one thing that was kind of interesting about automats is that they had a section for single women to sit without being disturbed. And this is kind of what we see here. His wife Jo served as the model for this painting, and she was generally a model for all of the female figures in his paintings. However, he would depict her a little bit younger and a little bit less fully figured than she actually was, because at the time she was a little bit more of a curvy 44-year-old when the painting was created.
I'll have what she's having.
There was also an element of voyeurism included in this painting. We, as the viewer, are looking at the pretty young girl across the way drinking her coffee by herself, and he added these slight elements of attractiveness to her because we see her legs under the table. Now, in today's world, that's not really a big deal, but in 1927, it was very publicly rare, and because of this, the viewer becomes the voyeur to this woman. Side note, I also had an opportunity to view Automat not only at the Des Moines Art Center, but also in Paris. In 2023, I took a trip to Paris where I would see this work on display at the Grand Palace with a huge retrospective of Edward Hopper's work, but at any rate, this painting would be the first in a series of works by Hopper where he would focus on the loneliness of the city. Works that would depict the solitude within the city and things of that nature, this very psychological stillness and loneliness. Other works like Nighthawks and Summertime and The Morning Sun would also illustrate these points, but those points had a starting point, and that starting point, again, was Automat. Side note, another one of Hopper's great works was House by the Railroad that he created in 1925, and this work would inspire many things, including the house in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho from 1960.
And in this house, the most dire, horrible events took place.
Edward Hopper created many great paintings over his career, and others are more popular or more known or more recognized, but art starts with ideas, and the idea all began with Automat that was the springboard into this intellectual series of paintings, and hopefully we can recognize that as we appreciate these great works, as well as this particular great work at the Des Moines Art Center, Automat from 1927.
Scholars, I hope you enjoyed this look at Edward Hopper and his work Automat. And yeah, it's always good to be back in my home state of Iowa and here at the Des Moines Art Center and soaking it all in. If you like my content, follow, like, share, subscribe, do all the fun things that you do. And we'll see you soon. Have a good day.
Impossible.
Improbable, perhaps, but impossible.